Welcome back. I am still being joined by the beautiful Ania Stokowski, my very, very dear friend, Reiki Master, Master Hypnotherapist, QHHT Hypnotherapist, and for this occasion, more importantly, a spiritual intuitive counselor. Welcome back, Ania.
Thank you so much, Claire. I'm so honored to be here, and it's so lovely to be here with your audience and all your viewers. So thank you. So exciting.
So for this episode, we're going to be talking more about using your intuition or how allowing your body to show you what it's feeling. So remember, life doesn't happen to you, it happens for you. So if you have that pain in the knee, if you're having those headaches, what are the messages that it's trying to tell you, and using that intuition to really decode what you're actually going through. So, Ania, can you give us a little bit of information? Because I know there's a couple of books that you use as well as your intuition in being able to decode those messages from the body.
Yeah, beautiful. And, again, when the body starts to speak to us, that's what I find is kind of the last the last frontier that information has been coming through earlier. So spirit works, there's a whisper, there's a nudge, and then there's the 2x4. So spirit is
I know the 2x4 very well.
So do I. I do as well, my friend. So it's really lovely when we are, so in tuned with ourselves that we receive that intuition before the physical 2x4, before the body, before the message starts to come through the body. And spirit knows that we are with our body 24/7. So pain, we will respond to, we will listen to pain. And before it gets to that point, there are messages that are coming through, but are we open to receiving those messages? Is our consciousness a victim consciousness where it's looking at that this is all happening to me? Or do we see this as the eyes of intuition, that this is a gift? What's the gift in here? What is the message? What am I learning through this? So when we are able to just shift that focus to, why is this happening to me? To, what for is this happening? Why did my soul so desperately need this experience? Because we created every experience. Nothing is happening outside of us. We created every part of this journey. Even what we may deem with our mind, with judgment, this is bad, this is good, there is no such thing. It is energy. It is an opportunity for our vessels to expand and hold more light. So when something comes through at the body level, at the vessel level, it is about listening. And so, yes, I absolutely agree with you, Claire. I know exactly about this 2x4. When I was around 26, I got the 2x4.
Excuse me, I could build a house with a 2x4. Or at least an outhouse, anyway. So I have to say welcome back, because our power just went out. And the interesting thing is both of our powers went out, and we don't live right next to each other. That being said, not miles and miles apart, but all of a sudden everything was plunged into darkness. So we were wondering if there was a message in that to share with you. So using self-muscle testing, I found the message, and it was in the Sacred Destiny Oracle by Denise Lynn. and I will read the message. So, Anya, let's see what comes up in your intuitive mind when I read this out. And it's the card of solitude and sacred islands. Islands are bodies of land surrounded by water. They can be in an atoll or river basin. However, the ocean surrounds most islands. They can be massive with their own unique verdant ecosystems, or they can be small and barren. The terrain can be flat or mountainous. They can be detachment from the mainland through erosion, or they can arise from the sea through volcanic activity. What kind of jumps out to you? Because this is the message regarding why the power went out.
Mhm. Well, I find it very interesting how we are bodies of water, right? 70% water. And
Mhm.
the card is very reflective of the body of water. And within that body of water, that's where emotions lie. That's the energy of emotions. Either you're connected to your land, your sacred land, or you are detached.
And it actually states there can be a detachment from the mainland or the main body of the person. So it's interesting. It's like, again, life doesn't happen to you, it happens for you. So when things like that happen, there's a message in it. And it's really, really interesting as opposed to going into, oh my God, why has this just happened to me? To, I wonder what message. And it's really just to give a little bit more power to the fact
Literally.
about emotions. Yeah, or not power,
That's
as
right.
the case may be.
Ah, interesting. So really, I just heard too, it's like the law of polarities, right? We ha- the power went out to show you how powerful you are,
Absolutely. And
right?
luckily for us, it was just a sign because it was only out for a minute. And then all
I
of a sudden, everything came back on.
know. It was a definite message from spirit, a definite physical representation of our dialogue, which we can't make this stuff up. Like
No,
the
no.
topic, like, but we used our intuition and we also saw this as a gift. And again, by seeing this as a gift and then opening the gift and saying, wow, huh, what is this teaching me? Instead of saying, oh my goodness, the power went off. Ah, all right. And going down that road, which those two roads are like, right, side by side, that we took the road of, huh, see, what was the gift in this? What message is there for me in here?
Yeah. The road of curiosity as opposed to the road of victimhood. Much,
Absolutely.
much better road to be traveling down,
It
I think.
is. Absolutely. Right? Yes. I absolutely agree. Yeah. And to have that openness always of what a gift.
Mhm.
Pause. What a gift.
And again, it's going back to the two before. Like, I have this habit, a very bad habit, of not listening to the whispers because it can be scary to listen to the whispers because they usually take you on a road that it's like, I can't do that. And then because I ignore those, then I usually end up getting hit by a two before. And usually for me, it's falling and breaking stuff. So it literally stops me from doing what it was that I wasn't supposed to do. And then I get the message. And I don't think there's ever been a time where I've fallen and ended up sitting on the couch in the plaster or um, in a lot of pain, taking a lot of painkillers,
Yeah.
thinking, oh, woe is me, why did this happen? It's always been, what am I being stopped from doing? What was I doing before that I am not supposed to be doing? And it's very freeing to take that road as opposed to that road of victimhood. So,
Absolutely.
anyway, before we were interrupted by a power outage, you were going to share a personal story. So
I
let's
was.
get back to your story.
Well, I find it very interesting too that my story, my 2x4, that what took my power away. And then again, wow, synchronicities? I think so. And that's also reflective to the viewers of how the divine, how the creator works in those synchronicities. But again, it's for us to be open to understanding, okay, this is very interesting. I'm curious. What is the message here for me? So yes, my love. So when I was about 26 years old, I was diagnosed with MS. And that was my 2x4. And that was me unraveling those inflammatory ways of being and not listening to myself, um, people pleasing to find my worth, not feeling worthy, and always going outside of myself for my um, for my approval. Even though inside you would have these little whispers, right? But I ignored it. And so my team worked very hard to wake me up. And it was with a diagnosis of MS because literally I was going against myself. And so when I really stopped in my tracks and started working with myself and really looking at this, not from the egoic judgment mind of, why is this happening to me? And really kind of going from that experiencer to the witnesser and looking at it through the eyes of love, through the eyes of the divine, of my higher self, looking down and looking at it as this is an experience. What is the gift in this experience? What am I learning? And slowly but surely, I started to come to that truth of I've been going against myself. I have not been listening to myself, my intuition, all my skill sets. I've totally ignored them. But I needed that experience to understand the opposite, to understand what it felt like to really listen to yourself, to really be connected to that wisdom of yourself, even though everybody outside of you would say, don't do that, right? So it really was a process for me to come home, to come back to my ocean, to come back to my body of water on my island and understand that that power was always within. But it was my soul's journey to get me back to remembering my power.
That's amazing. And no MS now? Everything is perfect?
Yeah.
And
And
that's really a testament to how powerful we are when we change those beliefs, when we change that negative self-talk, that we can actually transform something as serious as that. That's
absolutely.
amazing.
And it was really again going from the mind to the heart and feeling and understanding what is going on through the feeling body.
Yeah.
And again, the messages are so literal, right?
Hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah, absolutely. And the thing is, when you don't listen to those whispers, um, you get hit by a two before. So it can be a health issue or it can be a life-changing event. So I explained in the previous episode about me being fired. I had ignored the whispers up until that point. I had ignored the little voice that said, you really should get a different job. I had always wanted to go to sea, loved being at sea. I wanted that freedom and that complete change in my life. But it was such a massive move for me to make that I kept ignoring the whispers. So then that angelic realm came in. It's like, oh, she is so bad at listening to us. So we're really going to have to force her. So, what's the best thing that we can do for her? Yes, we'll get her fired. Well done, angels. Got me fired. And I sent out about 70 resumes to different companies, different cruise lines, and I got one reply. So in this case, the angels were being really, really kind and going, we're not even going to give her a choice. We are going to show her the path. There is only one path to take. This is the path, and you have to have a job. So take this path. So it was easy, no choices. So I was at sea for 2 years, absolutely loved it. It was life changing for me. But then I was on vacation. I was just to go back to my fourth contract. I'd just been given a promotion. And there was this feeling I shouldn't go back. I shouldn't go back. But again, I
There's
ignore the
mhm,
voices. And it's like, but I've just been promoted. It's a really good job. I need to go back. So I went back. I lasted a week. I couldn't sleep, became really depressed. It just everything felt off, and I walked off. Now on this particular cruise line, if a staff member walks off, you're not allowed back. It's like you've broke your contract, that's it.
okay.
And I can always remember sitting at home, and a very, very dear friend of my mom's phoned me, and she was kind of like a mother figure, like one of these wise women. And she was not a happy bunny. She was really mad at me and saying, you are so stupid. You just got promoted. You had a really good job and you just walked away. But I followed my intuition this time. And I stayed really, really calm as opposed to getting upset. I said, I really appreciate you sharing your feelings with me, but I know I had to come home. And I said, when? I don't know what that is. I don't know why I had to come home. I just knew I did.
That was
And I
beautiful.
said, when I find that out, I will phone you and I will let you know. So I was very polite, but very firm. And I just knew in the core of my being, like that intuition was so massive within me that I didn't question my stupid decision of leaving my job.
Mhm.
And within 2 weeks, I had met my husband. So that was a wonderful day when I got to phone my friend back and I said, by the way, I just got engaged. And I said,
Yeah,
that's why I had to come home because I would never have met him otherwise.
I love it.
So
That's beautiful.
yeah. And so this time when you listen to the whispers, you don't get to fall, you don't get to be sick. But sometimes it does take a little bit of courage to listen to those whispers and to actually act on it.
Absolutely, right? I mean, we've gone our whole life being trained to listen to outside of ourselves, right?
Hmm?
Of making everyone else the go all, the be all, to always go outside of yourself, check in with a decision that you're going to make. And we're all learning, okay, yeah, we were on that path. Now it's time to go within. The only one you need to check in with is you. And if we do also have that mindset of everything is perfect, you are exactly where you are meant to be.
Yeah.
And
Everything is always perfect.
everything. And just knowing that the creator, the divine, created all of this, and this is perfection. Stepping into that wholeness, you also step into your wholeness of that, yeah, everything is exactly the way it should be. Everything is perfectly happening for my best self.
Absolutely. So we're going to emphasize a little bit more about those physical issues when you maybe don't listen to the whispers and then they start manifesting themselves as pain in the body, as disease, as illness, and give a little bit more insight into um, like that metaphysical link between the pain and what is causing it. Can you give us a little bit more information on that?
Absolutely. There's what's beautiful. There's always these little ways of being that we can start incorporating, these little steps. And they don't have to be these huge steps. And that's important to understand too, is how do I listen to the messages of my body? Right? So, one beautiful way to start incorporating is use breath as a messenger. First, start noticing how your breath feels. Is it shallow, tight, or is it flowing? That's very important. That's such a beautiful way to start connecting with the messages of your body. Connect with your breath and notice. So, when we are stressed, what is our breath doing? It's usually tight, and you can often notice resistance. There may be fear involved. So that is a message your body is giving you through your breath. And when you're feeling happy and light, what can you feel? You could feel energy moving. It feels open and expansive, right? So I would ask your viewers right now to just take a mindful moment, a being moment, and let's do some human beingness right now. And just, if you want, you can keep your eyes open, you can close your eyes and just breathe. And I don't want you to exaggerate your breath. I want you just to notice your breath and just breathe and notice your breath. What is your breath asking of you? Are you noticing it's tight, shallow? Maybe you're needing more rest. Is it expansive and flowing and feeling light? And just ask your breath, what do you need of me? And start that inner dialogue. And that will be my first exercise or suggestion to start connecting with your breath. It's easy. It's outside and inside. And then encourage you to pause. And actually, then you can start speaking directly to the body. So if there is a pain in the body, you can ask, what are you trying to tell me? What do you need me to know right now? And you can actually put your hands onto that part of that body, of the pain. And just say, I'm listening. What would you like to share with me? And it could at first just want your presence. It may just want compassion. And so give it compassion. Just sit with it like a good friend. How would you treat a friend who just came to you with this pain that you're feeling? Give yourself that same love and compassion. And your body may also need to first start trusting you that you are listening. And as you begin that dialogue and that trust and that compassion with your body, you're going to ask your body, what are you trying to tell me? What is your message? I'm listening. And what do you need right now? And remember to trust those feelings. And it may come up as a feeling, as an image, as a sensation. And just allow it just to be. And just be with that sensation. No story, no judgment. That's the mind. Let go of that. There is no story. Oh, the pain is here because da, da, da. No, that's the mind. Go with the divine. Go with your intelligence, the divine intelligence within. connect, and just be there with compassion to listen to that energy that's within you.
That's
And
wonderful. And I think we do need to spend a little bit more time just in that peaceful quietness and just to quiet the mind and just listen to the body a little bit more.
yeah, absolutely. You know, there are many of my clients who are very excited and want this information so badly, but there is a process, and to let go is, and just let it flow, because energy flows, doesn't it?
Mhm.
Energy is constantly moving, and we can really produce a type of stuckness, a stuck energy, when we are using our mind and have an expectation of what it looks like, what it feels like, if we are stuck on stories of why we are even in pain. So let go of all of that. And the mind can relax. And by going within, by doing a body scan meditation and going within and allowing that compassion to go within, our bodies will start to learn to trust us. And you can journal as well with the body, whatever comes up, right? From the perspective of the body part, of the pain or of the tension. Start that journal and start writing from that aspect. Give it a voice. And you can also help to move that energy. It could be through stretching, through walking, going to a forest. You can do breath work, meditation, and integration work as well is very important. So, put your hand on your heart and you can do an affirmation. Thank you, body. Thank you. I am safe. I am here. I am listening. Thank you.
It's interesting what you say about the stuckness. I'm just reaching for a book here. Because it's that stuckness, it's the negative emotions, it's the negative beliefs, it's that trauma that we've experienced, that when we don't do the breath work, if we don't allow that to fully process and be released through the body, it gets stuck, and it gets stuck in certain areas, and it usually gets stuck in the areas of the most weakness. So one of the books that I reference quite often. Now, with my clients and with myself, I will always find a very specific personal message regarding any pain or illness. So going with the stuckness, it's that time where you don't do the breath work, that you don't allow those things to, those trapped emotions and those traumas that you experience, to fully process and be released through the body. And this can sometimes be because you're sick at the time and your body isn't able to allow those to be released. For case in point, I mean, I'm sure there's members of the audience who have back issues. So, in this book, The Secret Language of the Body by Ina Siegel, last couple of episodes ago, I actually did a review on one of her oracle card decks, which was Heal Yourself reading cards. She has also written this amazing book called The Secret Language of the Body, where she'll go through different illnesses and through different body areas and actually identify what could be causing those issues. And under back, possible contributing factors: feeling unsupported, overwhelmed, under too much pressure, carrying suppressed and unresolved emotions from the past. Then you've got the upper back, carrying the world on your shoulders, feeling stressed and overwhelmed by all the things you have to do, lack of trust and frequent worry, fear, negativity, perfectionism and limitation, feeling unsupported by life and people around you, and too much thinking. Oh, I think I might be doing that. Middle back, stuck in the past, holding on to guilt and resentment, and there's more to that. Lower back, feeling insecure about how you will support yourself financially, constant worry about your survival, and how you are going to pay the bills. So, this is amazing information that I'm sure will resonate with a lot of people. So, what you do is that you take that information and then you transform it. So, feeling that courage, feeling supported, feeling loved. Um, I know you use this book and another amazing book called The Metaphysical Anatomy. But it's you can transform illnesses, you can transform pain by finding these messages that the body is holding. And it's just the body trying to get your attention. It's basically shining a light on a situation that you've been ignoring.
And then once we understand the purpose of the pain and the lessons of the pain, message received, and the energy can move. And so we can use that wisdom that the body calls upon in our everyday life whenever any situation happens to ask, what was the purpose of this and what are the lessons?
Yeah. So, what would you say if somebody had pain on the right side of the body compared to the left side of the body? Is there a difference?
Yes. So again, through my work of Dolores Cannon with the QHHT that I do, we find in a lot of client sessions, and Dolores spoke about this as well, that anything on the right side of the body was this life, and anything on the left side of the body was past. So it could be past life, but it also could be a past experience in your life as well. And the right side of the body is also to keep in mind is male energy, and the left side is female energy as well. So it could also go into your ancestor lineage. So there's a lot of information within our bodies, the energetic bodies, and it's constantly communicating to us. And our mind really and body are receivers of that energy. So it truly is to allow the energy to flow. And I did have a channeling once from Archangel Michael, and he gave me this visual, which I thought was really beautiful. And he showed me a mouse in a maze trying to get out. And he was saying, think of this mouse like your energy. It's looking for a way out. That's why it's called feelings. You're supposed to feel that, right? So he was showing me that energy is trying to find its way out. And all we need to do is feel energy and release. Feel it, let the message come through and let it move. It's looking for motion, energy in motion. And when we don't do that, when we keep it trapped, exactly what you said, Claire, that energy is going to find the weakest link and try to get out that way.
Mm-hmm. This is a perfect segue into past life traumas, which I am fascinated with. And just to mention again that you are a QHHT hypnotherapist. So a lot of the work that you do is about past lives. So what do you see coming up most often if somebody comes to you with a specific ailment or pain
Mhm.
or an issue, and how that is actually linked to past life trauma?
It's very interesting. And thank you for bringing that up. It actually reminds me of one of the sessions I had with this beautiful client. And she came in for a session. We went through a QHHT session. She went home and she messaged me and she said to me, Anya, you're not going to believe this. I was drinking water and my husband said, you're not choking. So every time she would drink water, she would start choking. Like she couldn't have a glass of water because she'd constantly choking. Well, in her past life, in her session, It just happened that she drowned in this past life. And that energy from that trauma experience was trapped in her throat. And it was constantly getting her attention by choking whenever she drank water to say, see, see. But now she had also the tools through her session. She understood that past life, the purpose and the lessons of that life. So the energy was released.
And it's amazing. It's quite magical when even just consciously being aware of that's what the issue is
Yes.
actually gives it that opportunity to be released.
Yes, absolutely. It really is magical when if there's a certain part of your body that's getting your attention, just sit with that and just be with that. And that attention helps to move the tension. It really does.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, absolutely.
So if anyone has an issue with a fear of heights, fear of being in water, um, a fear of having anything around the neck. I've known people can't wear turtlenecks. It's like, oh my God, it's just so frightening
Yeah,
that they actually could have their roots in a past life issue. Maybe they've been
absolutely.
strangled or hung or, as you say, drowned. I mean, not always. Sometimes they can be experiences you've had as a child. But if you don't have any conscious awareness of where the root is, it can be you might need to travel a little bit farther back in time.
Further. Yeah, absolutely. And it's so easy. It's such an easy process. The biggest part of any of this work is always awareness. You can't shift or change anything you're not aware of. So if something's happening, say, yeah, I'm aware something's happening here in this part. Let me investigate, right? So that's the first part, is to bring awareness to it. Say like, yeah, something's going on here. I feel it.
Mm-hmm.
And absolutely, when it's very deep rooted in energy from a past life, then it can show up consistently in ways of you might be trying to do something and something's constantly happening. So what we don't repair, we repeat. So it is about understanding that energy, and again, just with open awareness, to sit with and be like, okay, what's going on here? Right? What is the lesson? Because energy and our soul is constantly looking for expansion. And it came here because it wanted to learn certain things. It wanted to expand. It wanted to grow. And what's the best way to grow? Through experiences, right?
But you don't want to be holding on to those negative experience lifetime after lifetime.
Exactly. That's repeating the course, right? Repeating, repeating.
Yes.
Yeah.
And the thing is, if you don't do that, you then have to understand that the next lifetime you're still going to be struggling with the same thing. So it's kind of nice to have that awareness and that openness that, okay, this is the lifetime I get to release all of this. And if you're holding on to that trauma, you can also pass it down to your children through inherited emotions and inherited traumas as
Absolutely.
well. So,
Yes.
yeah, yes, just let go of everything. That is
Right. Yes.
the overarching message for all of that. Just let go
That's
now.
right. Yes. Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, it's really an interesting journey here on planet Earth. They say that this is the big school. Planet Earth is the school for souls to evolve and learn.
Mhm.
But we evolve and learn through experiences. And it is through trial and tribulations, right? If everything went really well, would we learn anything? We know happiness when we experience sadness, right? It's the law of polarities. We know healthy bodies and health when we experience the opposite.
Yeah.
So it is about understanding, okay, what am I trying to teach myself here? What am I learning? What class am I in right now? Right?
Am
And
I
is
going
this,
to graduate soon?
exactly, is this my final exam? I really don't want to repeat this. Yeah,
Yeah.
I remember learning that too. And I was like, oh, hell no. I'm what is going on here? Okay. Yes, I let go of me, of my mind needing to make sense of it. And I'm allowing the truth of the energetic information to come through. And when I did that, it's magical, the transformation. And then following the breadcrumbs of the intuition and allowing that part of us, which is like our innate tools we come in to
Mhm.
remember.
Yeah.
But we're all reconnecting with that remembrance and allowing that. But again, through awareness and just allowing. That's the first step.
Perfect. And I think that the big lesson is if you're dealing with something, using your intuition to figure out where the root is. Is it from this lifetime? Is it from a trauma that you had when you were a child? Does it go back centuries? And even just becoming aware of it is enough to release it. A very, very dear friend of my husband and mine, uh, when he was a child, had a deep fear of swimming, but swimming more in deep water than in shallow water. So when he was at the beach, he would stay in the shallow end. But if he accidentally swam out to the deeper water, he would really panic and feel like he was going to be sucked under the water by some demon. And then many years later, he went to a psychic who said, "Oh, I see you actually drowned in a past life." The next time he was out swimming, he realized that he had swum out to the deeper water and then realized that he didn't feel that fear anymore. So she didn't do a healing on him.
Mhm.
It was just his awareness of it was a past life issue. This isn't about this lifetime. This doesn't really exist. It's just a memory. So again, just becoming aware is
Absolutely.
enough to release that. So it's like, if you're going through an issue, if you're going through a relationship issue, what's the message in that? Is it from this lifetime? What do I need to do? What do I need to let go of? And this life is all about letting go and raising your vibrations and having the best lifetime possible. So at the end of every episode, we always find a message. Can you find us another message?
I will, my love. I'm going to actually use this beautiful deck, the Healing Mantra deck by Matt Kahn. So I'm going to just open it up. Let's do that. All right, my loves. Hmm, very interesting. All right, my love. So the card is sharing shame. When I share my deepest pain, I give myself permission to be. It's perfect. Right on topic. Am I
Perfect.
no. I expect. I expect normal things. That means I expect miracles. Dr. Wayne Dyer, that was one of his quotes. And I'm like, yeah, miracles are everyday, ordinary things.
Absolutely. But it's about also being honest with yourself. Just sit quietly. Like, what is that deepest pain? That's awesome.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
So, could you just share if anyone wants to work with you? You, as I've mentioned before, you are a QHHT hypnotherapist and master hypnotherapist, as
Yes.
well as being a Reiki master. And I can attest that the work you do is amazing. How can people contact you if they want to work with you?
Yeah, absolutely. So my website is brilliancehealingstudio.com. Again, that's brilliancehealingstudio.com. I am on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. I have a YouTube channel, which I also, on all platforms, love to give information that comes downloaded through the divine, through the angels. And I work with them quite closely through my sessions. Also, any information through the sessions. And the client says, yes, you can share the information. We get a lot through other people's higher selves as well. And yeah, so bring that all through. You can find me on my website. You can find me through my social media, through Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and also my book, Architect of.
Yes. Where can people find your book?
Oh, so they can find it. I'm going to grab the book. I'm sorry, I need to lean over here. Let me grab the book here. Put my tea down. There we go. Architects of Galaxies. You can find it on Amazon. You can also find it at Indigo Chapters online. And I am having a book signing event at the Grandview Corners Indigo Chapters on October the 4th from noon to 4. So I would be honored for people to come with their copies. I will sign with a special intuitive message for you. And for those of you that would like to purchase, you can also come by and purchase your copy that day as well.
That's awesome. Ania, thank you so much for joining us on these last two podcasts. It's been eye-opening and just wonderful to spend some time talking to you.
Thank you. It's been so lovely spending time with you, Claire, and having me on your podcast. And thank you from the bottom of my heart. I send so much love to all of your audience members and to you and to Andy. And thank you for this beautiful gift that you're sharing with everyone in the world.
Thank you so much. And I'll leave you to ponder this. Where is that pain originating from? Could it be a past life? And until we meet again, be aware of all the messages in every area of your life